welcome back to the channel, guys. I appreciate y'all tuning in as always. So back to the socket series. All right, today we've got the Mixpower 10-piece set of universal swivel sockets. So y'all stay tuned. We're gonna dig right on into it. Alright guys, I appreciate y'all tuning in and welcome back. So we're back to the socket series, and today we've got the Mixpower 10-piece universal swivel socket set, impact rated. So part number, or UPC 750-139-256-402. Alright, again, 10-piece set. This comes with 10 through 19. Now, y'all see these 5 here. These are actually Sunex brand, so we'll get to that later on in the video. But the main thing is the Mixpower. Now, little backstory as well on these. When I bought these on a budget, I did not have money to buy tool truck brand ones, even for a used set. Okay, for a used set, you're still talking a couple $100. Right now, this set alone, 10 pieces, you're only paying $54, and I'll post this little snapshot here so that way you can see it on Amazon. Now it's quality, it's sizing, you know, there's a lot of different characteristic traits that are a lot different from the tool truck brand ones, even different brands as well that you can purchase, whether it's Gray Pneumatic, Genius Tools. I don't think Genius Tools has one, I'll have to recheck, Gear Wrench or whatever, some of the mid-tier brands. Price-wise, you're still saving a lot more money. But again, when I was buying swivel sockets, I needed impact swivel sockets. I just didn't have the money for it. I was able to purchase, you know, the deeps, the shallows in both 1/2 inch and 3/8 for a significant lot less than just buying one set of a tool truck brand. And I didn't have a lot of high expectations. My thought was, okay, there's certain sizes I'm going to use, and you're going to see here, obviously, the wear on those certain sizes. I could have just bought those sizes as well too, individually. But getting a whole set, I had the ability to have the sizes that, you know, if, in case I did need them, you know, for a lot less money. And honestly, you know, let's see here. How long have I had these? I've had these for 3 years now, and guess what? None of them have broke. So that means they're still working. They're still making me money. And that's the most important thing. I've always mentioned that before my videos. You know, if a tool's making you money, regardless if it breaks or not. Again, I only spent $54 or somewhere around there. Let's see how much I spent here exactly. At the time, it was $69. So they're on sale for $54. So you're saving $14. So again, still not a bad price. $70, $69.97 for a 10-piece set. Okay. So it means you're only spending about $7 a socket. Hey, can't beat that, right? So anyways, 10 through 19. There's your 19 right there. So let's kind of get through the details of this real quick. So these are made of chrome moly. It's got a black phosphate finish to it. Laser marking. As far as the sizing goes, it's got the Mixpower branding right there. There's your sizing right there. And then roll stamped chrome moly here. There's your sizing there as well too, so in both spots. Okay, now as far as warranty goes, this one is guaranteed for 1 year through them. It does meet ANSI standards. I don't know if that makes a difference or not. Okay. For the price, these are pinned. Okay, these aren't the pinless design. Now, as far as the sizing itself of the product, it is bulky. It's got that collar on there to kind of help contain everything inside of there as you're impacting. There's the working end right there. You can kind of see the spring inside there. made in China. Okay. Obviously, you know, we've had the separate discussions on that when it comes to quality of Chinese tools or whatever. But regardless, I'm doing what, when I buy some of these tools, I'm doing what fits my pocketbook, and that's what I could buy. So, anyways, so these do normally come in a blow molded case to contain them or whatever, so you can keep them in the cases. Now, obviously, I keep these in my toolbox, so they stay in the tool grid. I took them out and put them on this tray just for the video purpose or whatever. But again, it does come in a blow molded tray with some clasps on there, so that way if you want to take it with you, you can. I do believe I have the case somewhere in the garage in one of my totes, so I'm not going to dig it down. But regardless, for the value of these have been significantly great. So it does have a 360 rotation on it. As far as how many degrees, it does go 66 degrees, I believe, to the sides. So you can pivot them 66 degrees. So you get a significant amount of movement from these to get into tighter spaces. And that was the main thing. Sometimes the entry point to say, like, let's say a motor mount fastener is at an angle or whatever, you're able to kind of get let's say a wobble socket that kind of points up this way and reach down in there and take that fastener off. So it's really good. Like I said, black phosphate finish helps kind of keeps that corrosion down, keeps that rust off or whatever. So, for what it is, you're getting your standard features of a socket in today's market. So it's really good. Now, as far as the material itself, the steel, you're not going to get that high quality like a Snap-on or a Mac or whatever. But for what it is, for $70 mark or $54 mark or whatever, you're still getting a pretty decent tool in itself. So most common sizes I probably use is the 17. Let's see what I got here. Maybe 18 a little bit, not as much. Definitely the 19. Again, you see I've had to put my size markings on there. The 21. Now these are the Sunex, so we won't get into that just yet. But generally 21, 22. So from this set, I probably have to say anywhere starting from 17 through 19. Now, as far as the usage, you can see, the material is a little bit softer, so you can see where the impact's been hitting quite a bit. But overall, for 3 years, it's done great. Okay, I've had no issues with these. These haven't busted up. Now you can see that collar is spinning right now on these. That's just, let's say, opposed to this 13 that I rarely use. It's still on there. So, given that the collar is starting to move on these already, these ones that this one's been moving a lot. How long will it last? I don't know. Time will tell, right? But using this for brakes, suspension, and stuff like that, motor mounts, they're seeing a lot of usage. And I've already, just for the $70 I've invested in this, I've already made my money back. So, that was the most important thing. So what I could, eventually do is replace this maybe with a Sunex or whatever, or a Snap-on or a Mac or whatever that I find. But I'm getting a 10-piece set for $70, and that was my intention. I didn't want to invest up front all that money because I didn't have it. I was able to buy the 3/8, the half-inch sets. Also was able to buy some of the SAE sets as well too, for less than a whole set of Snap-ons. and still have the ability, of the variety of, deeps and shallows, and all the sizes. So that way I'm working. I don't have to say, okay, I don't have this size. I have to go figure something else out. I have to go get a universal joint and a shallow socket, place it on there and use it. Or go order one possibly separately and waste time doing that, where I suppose I already have all these sizes available. And I'm going to go through the same speech again when I do the shallows. So in fact, you know what? Let's pull the shallows out. All right, so here's the cool part. The shallows, unlike the deeps, actually go from, let me see if I can get this in view here. Move it back a little bit. Start from 10 all the way through 24. Okay, so you got what, 4, 8, 12, 15 piece set for the same price. I can say, so now the deeps only stop at 19, like I said earlier, but the shallows go from 10 to 24, half-inch drive. Now the shallows I get a lot more usage just because you can definitely fit in a lot of tighter spaces with these shallows, okay? So they get a lot more usage. But again, these collars are starting to move on them. But they're getting a lot of use on them. And I bought all these around the same time. The 21's still hanging in there. Let's see, this 22 is starting to move a lot. But again, so that's only 140 bucks here for 25 sockets, okay? With 25 sockets, you're going to do a lot of work with that. You're going to be able to reach in different places. You're going to be able to do different applications. And you throw it on that impact, and they are working. I've had no issues with them, not holding up. You're getting some wear and tear. Now, what I used to do was I'd just take some synthetic grease, and I'd just kind of apply it into there and just, hope for the best. Again, it's not a lot of investment. So if you're not using, if you're not afraid of to use them. Now, I got a lot of flack when I bought these. They're like, "Oh, you bought Chinese stuff," or whatever the case is. Well, I was like, well, okay, well then give me $300 or $400 so I can go buy a set of Snap-ons, okay, to make y'all happy. And I'm not talking about y'all, my normal guys here. These are just random YouTube commenters that go on there like, "Oh, well, you didn't buy a tool truck brand." I didn't have tool truck money back then, okay. It's only been a few years or whatever. So, when I was trying to expand out, build my customer base up or whatever, and buy my flip cars so that way I can make money, I didn't have that money. It's only been a few years or whatever. Now I have the capability to kind of invest in some stuff, but I'm not, even then at this point, I'm not going to do it. I may find a set that just, okay, the price point is really good. I can go ahead and, change it or whatever. But even then, these may end up breaking. I'm already past the 1-year warranty mark, so I'm not going to be able to warranty these. Now, if I had a Snap-on, I could warranty it out, but even then, it's still going to be difficult because I have to send it in or send them an email. I don't know how that process works of them, depending on what certain tools. I know, like Matco, going through their warranty, there's times that they've just wanted a picture and they sent me the tool. The second time they wanted me to send it in, depending on what customer service rep you're dealing with, they may have different standards or whatever, which they shouldn't, But again, gear wrench, you just send them an email, send them a picture, or whatever the case is. Yeah. So again, you're doing things differently across the board. But anyways, so 10 through 24. Same finish, same construction. Now, I know specifically at the time when I was buying these, the brand Quesomen is also similar because I don't know if they're just because they're coming out of the same plant. I think it's honestly the same parent company. So they're pretty much the same standards in terms of quality and build for their tools. They have a lot of impact tools. Their main focus when they first came out was sockets. Again, so when I was in the market, 3 years ago, these were one of the first ones to have a universal set of impacts, especially in the half-inch drive. 3/8, similar, but they're 3/8, you can buy different ones like gear wrench or whatever. But for full sets, no skips, and that's another thing. These have no skips. right? You go buy a Snap-on set, you're going to get a bunch of skips in them unless you purchase them individually to fill up the sets. These have no skips in them, and they're fine, okay? You know, I may not use a 10 often, 10 through, let's say, 13 or whatever, but they're still there. Like I said in my other videos of my half-inch drive, if I already got my half-inch impact out, and let's say I need to pull that brake line bolt out that's holding it to the strut, and it's a 12, I can just pull this 12 out off the tray, take it off real quick, bust it down, keep going. 14 gets some significant use, especially in suspension. You know, this collar's starting to move too, but who cares? 15 doesn't get used quite as often. Definitely not the 16. 16 still looks brand spanking new, but I still have that 16 just in case I need it. Okay, so you know, 23 not so much. 24, maybe some of the higher when you're doing, you know, trucks and stuff, SUVs. Like I said before, sometimes you need them, but they're there. You know, you may not have the need for it, and you'd rather just buy a set of Snap-ons or whatever. That's fine. That's your preference. I may get to a point where I'm saying, okay, look, one of these fails. If one of these fail after all these years, then I probably could say that eventually down the road, the rest are going to start failing too, just because time of wear and tear. You know, it's just like a vehicle. You know. But I can then make the decision if I'm just going to replace that one, or just buy the set and replace the common sizes that it comes with and take these out. If they're still able to be used, I'll throw them in my mobile box and just keep them in there, or my junkyard bag, or whatever the case is, where they won't see a lot of as much usage, but they're there and I still have them, and they'll be the common sizes as well. So I won't have to, you know, generally buy the sizes I need. And that's the thing too, when I'm running my mobile setup and I know I'm going to need swivel impacts, I'll pull out the common sizes, I'll throw it in there. Now I won't have to, I just, you know, take it from this set, and I'll just replace it with the tool truck brand or whatever I decide to buy. So, let's grab. So yeah, I mean, when you get it on a stubby, you know, you can get into some tight places with this, especially as y'all seen in my videos, you know, doing brakes, doing suspension. Let's get a size on there. You're able to get into some tight places. So, you know, it helps out a lot. Especially when you can't get a wrench in there to break it loose, or you can get a ratchet in there, but you know you don't have a lot of room to get that fastener. So you know these help out a lot. Or you can get a ratchet in there to kind of break it loose, and then just run this impact on there, and just take it out the rest of the way. That saves your energy and your time, and that's the main thing. Is when you're buying tools as a mechanic, you want to buy something that's going to save you time, which is going to save you money. You're pumping out vehicles. You know, and you're not wearing and tearing yourself, and that is what the main investment is going to be. So anyway, so back to these sockets, fantastic for the money. If you're looking for a budget set of impact swivel sockets, half-inch drive, don't rule these out. They've been great for 3 years. They've seen a lot of usage. So yeah. Now my Sunex sets, the biggest from what, 20 all the way to 24. I wanted to make sure I matched up the shallows. These have been fantastic as well. So these are the Taiwan ones. So laser etched there on the sizing, part number. I did put my own sizing on there as well because I'm getting old and blind. They've been fantastic. No issues with them. You can tell the quality difference is a little bit better. On the collars, let's get a bigger size here for this. Where's my 19? So it's a little bit beefier, as you can see now. It's obviously a bigger socket, right? But still, A little bit beefier. Now the pin sizes do look the same. Working in pretty okay, but you can see that spring's a little bit beefier in there as opposed to this one. It's a little bit thinner as compared to that one inside there. So, but you're paying a little bit more for the Sunex. Probably two to three of these Sunex sockets. You can get a whole set of this. Honestly, these are probably about 20 bucks each. So, still not a lot of money if you're considering what it is, but you know, still significant amount. It adds up. You know, all tools add up. So, but again, yeah, for the 3 years of usage on it, I'd definitely give it a thumbs up. You know, it isn't a tool truck quality brand or whatever the case is. It is the lower end, but for a lower end socket set, it's definitely met my expectations and exceeded actually. So I know this video has been kind of drawn out and we've had discussions on this, but this is just my personal opinion on it. So if you're looking for a set where there's shallow 10 through 24 and then 10 through 19 on these deeps, definitely consider giving them a look. You know, it's good to have and highly recommended. Maybe down the line I'll replace them, but for now they're sitting in the toolbox, still cranking away. Alright guys, that wraps up this socket series on the universal impacts. I know it's a little bit more drawn out, not as direct or whatever. I was kind of rambling on about them, but I just wanted to give my feedback on them just because they are a budget brand socket set from Amazon, from China, but they work, okay? They've been working for the last 3 years. So again, definitely give them a shot. That is my personal experience with them. So that way y'all can see how they've been used, how they've been working. Again, I appreciate y'all watching as always. Hope y'all have a good weekend. And y'all stay tuned for the next socket series. Take care. I'll tell you what, they do look good on this tool grid though. I will say that. I know a lot of guys like using the Ernst socket bosses and just throwing them in there, but you know what? Tool grid is a fantastic system for the money. I know it's a little bit on the expensive side, but hey. Do what you enjoy. It's your toolbox. Alright, well that wrapped up the half-inch series. Maybe we'll do, I got a few more things to do, so maybe I'll throw that in there. Y'all take